A bit over 2 months ago, we suffered an injury right after a shift. We worked second shift, so it was always dark when the day was over, and this particular night still contained a myriad of ice patches the workplace had simply missed, I guess. One of these was right by our car, and we slipped, the brunt of the fall hitting our elbow. This was a pretty clean break, the first time we've ever broken a bone, and because our job is so physical, we were able to claim workers' comp and get some time off for a while. It's been a strange time. My wonderful girlfriend was more than willing to care for me however I needed it. She was there right before my surgery and greeted me when I woke up. We'd been in physical therapy for a while, building back our strength and range of motion, inevitably leading us right back to work. It was such a strange feeling, suddenly losing access to an arm while gaining access to a break from work. And then once more regaining access to that arm while knowing every bit of improvement would just mean the end of this break. I really wanted to use that time well. Just because I was physically in recovery, it didn't mean I had to take a break from trying to express myself creatively. And yet, aside from the occasional stream, nothing really seemed to work. As I write this, it's been about 24 hours since it happened. We had been struggling to finalize several different ideas for videos that never seemed to quite do what we wanted them to do. Our heart just wasn't there how we wanted it to be. Eventually, we decided it would be easiest to simply write down a conversation between us. It was titled The Desire for Output. It was a relatively short conversation, imagined as the two of us laying against a grassy hill in the early night, discussing what we really wanted to create. I'm not ready to get into it now, but the end of that conversation is when it happened. For a moment, I didn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It can't be true. It's not allowed to be true. And I knew what I needed to do to put a stop to this. He had always been there to take over for me when I was at risk of harming myself in any capacity. He was always there to make sure I didn't do something I regret. He was still going to be there when I tried. He was still going to be there. He'll still be there. He'll be there. I just came back from a lovely sushi date with my girlfriend. Sushi is my favorite food. If prepared well, there's so much complexity in each bite. It's kind of astounding how much flavor can be packed into one roll and how well those flavors go together. It was a nice reprieve from everything. This date was already planned, so it wasn't like she took me to cheer me up, but it did serve that purpose to a certain extent. I just wish I could have made her feel just as special. She assures me I did, but I know it was far from how much I was capable of loving her. There's somewhere I need to go tonight. Since I work second shift, it's been a long time since I've seen a sunrise. I've seen the day end numerous times, but it's usually not a good sign if I'm up when the sun rises. I'm gonna go see it from the same place we were going to film Desire for Output. If I can't enjoy an early night heart-to-heart with him, then I at least want to be around to witness the coming day. There is a problem with that, however. I'm returning to work soon, and it will again no longer be viable to see the sunrise. I'd never been good at waking up early either, so my one remaining choice is to stay up for it. It's 9:08 p.m. as I write this, so I guess I have some time to kill. I've often been better at sitting with my thoughts than most. I always found the process of thinking through my problems not only tolerable, but enjoyable. I always liked the slow workday when I'd get a moment to simply let my mind wander. It's where some of my most grand aspirations come from, though it was always difficult to follow up on them. I'm still quite mediocre in most of my skills, especially when it comes to creative expression. But my larger issue is that I'd no longer feel the creativity when I returned home. Maybe I just desired entertainment too much, or maybe I was just overwhelmed by the time I got home. This isn't one of those times, though. It's quite awful, in fact. Suddenly I'm just like all those people who engage in something just to keep their thoughts at bay. I don't really want to think right now. I especially don't want... I feel like I'm in unexplored territory. It's like when, on previous days, I was simply blocked from going there. I wasn't allowed to go there. Now there's nothing stopping me, but I'm more scared than ever. I don't know how to face that abyss, especially not on my own. So, I guess it's time for some distractions. I've been playing through Majora's Mask recently. I'm at the point where I'm about to do Icona Castle. There's games that have been present in my life long enough to feel like they've always been a part of me. Majora's Mask is that, in no small part to being included in the Collector's Edition disc for GameCube that was promoting Wind Waker at the time. I was a GameCube baby, so I don't even remember a time before it existed. I'm playing through it right now for retro achievements, which has been a pretty substantive hyperfixation for me in the last year. It just feels nice to gain a permanent record of my gaming accomplishments, shouting to the world that I am in fact capable of getting the Mirror Shield. I originally wanted to play Majora's Mask through the Collector's Edition, but this version didn't have achievements at the time, so I had to settle for the original N64 version. Now that I'm at this point, I'm wondering if I ever actually got to this point in the game when I first played. The Mirror Shield's reflection doesn't look right, and this game was ported badly enough that I don't think it's an emulation mistake. Well, at least not on Dolphin's end. Anyway, I just won the fight against the King of Icona and learned the Elegy of Emptiness, so I'll go ahead and go grab the owl statue by the Stone Tower Temple. I am in tears. Why? It's like looking back on that statue, devoid of anything but a shell. It's still more than he. I think I'm done with Majora's Mask for now. Let me just check up on my achievement progress. You know, I had this thought when I went out for sushi, but it's so strange to see people acting so typical. It really is just me feeling this way. I don't know whether that makes it better or worse, but like everything right now, it's just strange. I've still got over 4 hours to go, and I'm already so sick of this night. I just can't get my thoughts in order, and I really don't think this energy drink is gonna help me on that front. I don't have another idea for staying awake that long, though, so it's what needs to be done. I don't like feeling so alone. I want him back. I really, really want him back. But if I can make it to the sunrise, I'll prove to myself I can make it without him. But I don't want to make it without him. Ugh. I need a new distraction. Stardew Valley has historically been a pretty easy way to let time fly, but I can't focus on it like usual. This drink isn't doing shit for me, it's just boosting my anxiety. But what else do I fucking do but drink it? Fuck. I'm gonna go finish this day and figure something else out. Part of me wants to just go there right now, but I know I can't. Frankly, in the state I'm in now, I'm better off driving as little as possible. My thoughts aren't getting any better either, but I think I remembered something that could help me adjust the direction of them. The song you hear right now is called Sea of Clouds. It plays during particularly impactful moments during the story of Xenoblade 2, and it never ceases to put me in a solemn, self-reflective mood. One day, many years ago, I listened to this song after dark and simply stared out my window, feeling more in tune with myself than I ever had. Ever since then, I've always found myself staring into the night sky as this song plays, feeling a tender connection to my past selves. They never felt closer, but they never felt more distant either. These moments have always been my chance to properly examine how far I've come and how much I still have to go. I realize in this moment that this won't be the last time I feel this way. I'll look back sometime in the future and reflect on how hopeless and directionless I feel now. Alongside this song, there is a quote from the game that echoes through my mind.
When a person loses something, they cannot help but seek a reason why. Within themselves, or in others. They seek a concrete answer to the question of who they really are deep inside. Such a very lonely existence. But perhaps that is what it is to be human.
I am lonely. More lonely than I've ever been. I don't know if I've ever experienced this level of solitude. It's a level of loneliness even the presence of people cannot extinguish. Regardless, I think it will do me some good to reconnect with the past for a little while. I wish it was just as easy to connect with my future. It would solve so much if I could simply know who I am yet to be, At this point, I don't give a damn about the philosophical implications of having that knowledge. I just need anything. I don't even know who I am anymore. I existed in tandem with him. Our collective identity was defined by our coexistence. Without him, what even is there to me? All that space he filled is just empty, waiting for something else to take its place. I guess that's my job now. It's time. There's just over an hour until the sun starts to rise. I'll be taking everything I feel I need, and I'll film and write whatever I can. I don't really have a good way to film in this dark, but I'll figure out what I can do. As I expected, I wasn't really able to film anything in this dark, but I did make it to my destination. I realized after I found my waiting spot that there existed a much easier path up here than the one I took. Figures. I was never really good at thinking logically when in a rush. I wish he had left that for me. In any case, I'm realizing this spot is a phenomenal place for stargazing, at least theoretically. It seems like the light pollution of the city reaches all the way out here, I guess. Regardless, I arrived just in time to experience the full breadth of the sunrise. The chilling winds caressed my face as the morning birds called for their companions. Little by little, I noticed the life around me grow brighter, illuminating the world in a glorious stroke of color. It was so real. Although, as the ground illuminated, so too did the sky, and I began to notice the immense clouds covering everything. It hit me at that moment, I'm not seeing the sunrise. In retrospect, it might have been wise to check what the weather would be like before I took on this burden. But that's alright. It doesn't matter that I don't see the sun now. I still feel its warmth, and I feel hope. I realize that I will smile again. I will grow again. I will discover myself again, and I will see that sun rise. Regardless of how long it takes, I will get there. And I'll be sure to put all of my heart into sharing that joy I find. I've desired all my life to create something that leaves an impact, and for so long I thought I would do it with him by my side. I can't help but lament that I will never see that future, but I know now that I can thrive without him. I don't know if he can somehow hear me, but even if he cannot, I still owe him as much gratitude as I can muster. Thank you for all of your help. Thank you for being there for me when I needed you most. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you, Evan.